Hello everyone, let's talk about something thrilling today, something that screams youthful exuberance and the unbridled joy of existence: social security cards. Yes, that little piece of laminated cardboard that you'll likely keep in a drawer somewhere, only to be unearthed when you need to prove you're a real person and not, say, a rogue AI chatbot. Getting your social security card right is crucial, folks. It's your ticket to a myriad of government services and benefits, and nobody wants to navigate that bureaucratic maze more than they have to. So to make your life just a smidgen easier, let's dive into the common mistakes you definitely want to avoid. Okay, first up, let's talk accuracy. And no, I don't mean the kind where you pretend you're a Nigerian prince to get your hands on someone's life savings. We're talking about your personal information: your name, your birth date, your social security number, if you have one already. All that jazz needs to be accurate. Think of it like this: the Social Security Administration is basically a giant bureaucratic computer program. And like any good computer program, it relies on accurate data. Feed it the wrong info, and you're basically asking for a system error. And trust me, nobody wants to be on the receiving end of a bureaucratic system error. That's a special kind of hell reserved for Dante's next edition of Inferno. So, double check those forms, people. Make sure your name is spelled correctly, looking at you, people with 15 vowels in their last name. And for the love of all that is holy, confirm your birth date. You'd be surprised how many people think they were born in 1988 when they were actually born in '89. Spoiler alert, it matters. All right, next up we have the dreaded incomplete form. This one seems simple enough, right? I mean, how hard can it be to fill out a form? Well, apparently harder than you might think. You see, leaving sections blank on your social security card application is like trying to bake a cake and forgetting the flour. Sure, you might end up with something vaguely cake-shaped, but it's not going to be pretty, and it definitely won't taste good. Every single question on that form is there for a reason. The Social Security Administration isn't in the business of wasting time with pointless inquiries. So, if they ask for your grandmother's maiden name, by golly, you better dust off that family tree and find out. Because that blank space could be the difference between getting your card promptly and waiting for an eternity in bureaucratic limbo. And let's be honest, nobody wants to spend more time dealing with paperwork than they absolutely have to. We've all got better things to do, like, I don't know, watching paint dry, or maybe even starting that novel we've been putting off for years. The point is, fill out the entire form. Don't give them an excuse to delay your application. Now let's venture into the murky depths of the internet, shall we? Specifically, let's talk about unofficial websites. You know, the ones they pop up in your search results with promises of a faster, easier way to get your social security card. They might even throw in a free toaster oven, just for good measure. But here's the thing, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. These websites are often run by shady characters who are more interested in stealing your identity than they are in helping you get a social security card. They're like the digital equivalent of that creepy guy at the carnival who promises to guess your weight. Sure, he might get it right sometimes, but is it really worth the risk of him running off with your wallet? Probably not. So here's a pro tip. When it comes to something as important as your social security card, stick to the official website. It might not be the flashiest or most exciting website in the world, but at least you know you're dealing with the real deal, and that's worth more than 1,000 free toaster ovens. Now, this next one might seem a bit obvious, but you'd be surprised how many people trip up on it. Before you even think about filling out that application, take a moment to review the eligibility requirements, because, believe it or not everyone is automatically entitled to a social security card. There are rules, people. And while those rules might seem as arbitrary and nonsensical as the plot of a David Lynch film, they do exist. So do yourself a favor and make sure you actually meet the requirements before you go through the whole application process. Otherwise, you're just setting yourself up for disappointment, and nobody needs more disappointment in their life. We've already got enough to deal with, what with the existential dread and the constant threat of global annihilation. So let's not add bureaucratic rejection to the mix, shall we? Check the requirements. Save yourself the headache. Last, but certainly not least, let's talk about everyone's favorite topic: documentation. I know, the mere mention of the word documents is enough to send shivers down your spine. But here's the thing, when it comes to applying for your social security card, having the right documents is non-negotiable. It's like trying to get into an exclusive club. You need to show your ID at the door, and if you don't have it, well, let's just say you're not getting past the bouncer. So what kind of documents are we talking about here? Well, that depends on your specific situation, but generally speaking, you'll need proof of identity, proof of age, and proof of citizenship or immigration status. And no, a handwritten note from your mom saying you're a real person is not going to cut it. Sorry, Mom. The Social Security Administration wants to see the official stuff: birth certificates, passports, visas, the important-looking documents you keep locked away in a fireproof safe. So gather up your paperwork, folks. Make sure it's all in order, because the last thing you want is for your application to be rejected because you forgot to include a photocopy of your cat's vaccination records. I'm not saying that's happened, but I'm also not saying it hasn't. Now, let's break it down a bit further. When we talk about proof of identity, we're referring to documents that have your name and a recent photograph. This could be a driver's license, a state-issued ID card, or even a passport. These documents are crucial because they verify that you are who you say you are. Without them, the Social Security Administration can't process your application. Next, proof of age. This is typically your birth certificate. If you don't have your original birth certificate, you can usually get a certified copy from the Vital Records Office in the state where you were born. This document is important because it confirms your date of birth, which is a key piece of information for your Social Security record. And finally, proof of citizenship or immigration status. If you were born in the United States, your birth certificate will usually suffice. If you were born outside the United States, you'll need to provide additional documentation, such as a certificate of naturalization or a certificate of citizenship. For non-citizens, you'll need to provide documents that show your current immigration status, such as a permanent resident card, green card, or an employment authorization document, EAD. It's important to note that all documents must be either originals or copies, certified by the issuing agency. Photocopies or notarized copies are not acceptable. So make sure you have the right documents before you head to the Social Security office. It can save you a lot of time and frustration. And remember, the Social Security Administration is there to help. If you're not sure what documents you need, you can always check their website or give them a call. They have a wealth of information available to guide you through the process. So don't be afraid to reach out if you have questions. It's better to ask and be sure than to guess and risk having your application delayed or denied. In the end, having the right documents is all about making the process as smooth and stress-free as possible. So take the time to gather everything you need, double-check your paperwork, and you'll be well on your way to getting your Social Security card. And who knows, you might even find that dealing with paperwork isn't as bad as you thought. After all, it's just another step towards securing your future. So embrace the paperwork, and remember, it's all part of the process. Good luck. You've navigated the bureaucratic labyrinth. So there you have it, folks. 5 common blunders to avoid when applying for your Social Security card. Remember, accuracy is key. Complete those forms like your life depends on it. Steer clear of unofficial websites like they're infested with digital plague rats. Make sure you meet the eligibility requirements before you even think about applying. And for the love of all that is good and holy, gather up all the required documents. Double-check your application, make sure everything is in order, and then send that sucker off with a sense of accomplishment. Ensure your application is flawless, and good luck. And hey, while you're at it, why not like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below sharing your own Social Security card application experiences. We all need a good laugh after dealing with the government.